Yo, what is going on, everybody? Today I have a special guest, a very, very special guest. Usually he's the gracious host, but today I'm going to try and be the gracious host. But he's still the gracious host to me, Solomon Jones, Solo TV 84. Welcome to the channel. How you doing today, man?
Hey, bro. I'm great. Happy to be with you, and we're gonna have a fantastic show. So let's get going.
Yeah, man. So look, the title of today's show is Sydney and Solo on the evolution of monetization of female sexuality. Because I dropped you a message on Instagram the other day, and look, we've done a few little sort of impromptu Instagram streams and stuff before, nothing major. But I heard a lot of what you were saying in this particular stream, and it really resonated with me because I'm very much on the same page as you with respect to the kind of angle that you come at. And this stream you were doing was about nurses joining OnlyFans, and I thought, I really want to talk about this topic, and I've been thinking about it for a couple of weeks now. And who better to talk about it with than the king of OnlyFans reporting, Solo TV 84. So,
wait. So they said that they hear the verb. Is it bad, guys? Yeah, I think they can hear it.
Oh, damn. That's that kind of sucks.
Hold on a second. See some chat.
Hello to everyone in the chat. Ali, Aussie MGTOW Bear, Daniel Bell, Luke Chase, Red Sings the Blues, and Ogre MGTOW. Good to see all of you. We're just going to see if we can sort out this reverb situation.
Are you sure it's not on your end?
I'm just going to quickly mute myself for a second, and you just say a few words and see if you're getting any reverb on your end.
Okay. Is it better now? Yeah, see, let me know if it's better. See, now I don't hear the feedback. So in the chat, let me know if you can hear me better now. Chat, let me know if you can hear me better now, because I don't hear no reverb now. So, yeah, Sydney, might be. Yeah, it's on your end, Sydney. You got something that's messing with mine.
Turn your mic off. Tell you what, let's mute your end, and I'll talk and we can see. All right, guys, can you hear any reverb on my end? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's see if you can hear it. Let me know. So it's like no reverb if it's just one of us talking or the other one talking, but it's only when we're like crossing over. Not crossing swords, obviously, but I'll tell you what. Solo, if you want to unmute yourself, I'm going to just sit back a little bit from mic, so maybe there's some pickup between the headphones and the microphone. And we'll see.
Good.
All right, fingers crossed. See how we go. I mean, look. Worst case, we can just sort of reschedule this, because obviously we don't want to be going for like half an hour with reverb and people are getting the shits. So, guys, let us know in the chat if it's all good. 1 for good, 2 for not good.
I think it would be a situation where one of us talks, the others are mute.
All right, well, look, let's do that. So let's just, autonomously mute ourselves and unmute ourselves as we respond and as we reply to each other. Oh, hang on. No, we've got 1 in the chat, which means we are both good. So let's just roll with this. And if we get any reverb, then we'll just revert to option 2. All right, look, we're getting a 2 as well. Let's just go with the muting plan. So I'll go now. So sorry about that, guys. Sorry about the little muck around, but thank you all for bearing with us through the audio issues. Technology, isn't it a bitch? So yeah, look, I sent Solo a message and said that I saw his video on OnlyFans nurses and wanted to do a live stream with him because I want to talk about the evolution of monetization of female sexuality and how it's always been in existence before the internet. And I agree with Solo that we can't be mad at these chicks for doing OnlyFans. And this is a controversial topic. A lot of people are sort of saying, oh, these girls, they're doing this. It's like, man, look, if we could make $5,000 a week by showing our dick on camera, we probably would. Let's be real. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, I'm putting that out there because I think we've got to have a balanced conversation if we want to, create more unity rather than division between people, particularly people that don't necessarily agree with each other. And Aussie MGTOW Bear says, nurses are freaks. They work at a hospital and they talk dirty. Yeah, man. I used to be married to a nurse. I know what some of her friends are like. So I'm just saying that's some real shit. But yeah, look, I just want to I want to have a conversation with how men can leverage themselves and their talents to better themselves and financially improve themselves, as these women are doing. They're using their God-given gifts to better themselves. Why the hell shouldn't we? So, let's be more vocal about what we will and won't accept in future partners, because there are going to be a lot of potential future partners that will have OnlyFans accounts for a lot of men. And we also want to talk about how to spot the traces of OnlyFans involvement in women. So, Solo, over to you, man.
Yes. So with the rise of OnlyFans, as most of you guys, OnlyFans is now being integrated into the mainstream, society. And I don't know about you guys, but hit 1 if you knew about OnlyFans before March, or hit 2 if you didn't, because I didn't know about OnlyFans until March, when it just really took off. And there's so many women making money off of it now that, and I've interviewed a few personally that, in my area, and just, another OnlyFans model / stripper. So this is going to be a common thing, especially when you have a lot of men who, with the rise of sexlessness, has increased and will continue to increase. And also with the fact of the matter is that the world economy is in shambles. And there's a lot of lonely men who are fisting their dicks. So it is what it is. Back to you, Sydney.
Yeah, 100%, man. And look, I found it really interesting because I got to admit, like, there's even been a couple of chicks where they've been on OnlyFans, and I looked at them like, man, you know what? I wouldn't mind seeing you naked, and if it's going to cost me $5 instead of 150 to take you out on a date, then so be it. But it's also like I don't want to feed the beast, you know what I mean? So it's like, what do we do? And I think at the end of the day, the answer is just to step back from any of these chicks that are on OnlyFans, because a lot of people have said, well, why don't you just go and look at the explicit material online that's available for free on Stay at Home Hub and places like that, And the reality is that a lot of these guys are going onto OnlyFans as subscribers because they want to have a personal relationship with these women. And I think talking about this personal relationship and the lack thereof in most modern relationships and that one-on-one connection, like, I think that's key to what's actually going on here, because, we always hear, oh, where are all the good men gone? And people, I hear so many guys lamenting women saying this. And it's not that the good men have gone everywhere. It's not that there aren't guys out there that have got good intentions that want to be good guys. It's just that a lot of us haven't actually had role model to teach us how to be masculine. And you know what? I got to tell you, I am so unbelievably, deeply grateful for all of the masculine content creators out there in the manosphere setting a good example. And look, I got work to do. Right, I got work to do. I could be more masculine. I could be more chiseled. I could, be more shredded. I could, be stronger, bigger. All of these things, right? Yeah. So, I can't really look. I'm constantly working on myself, and I know some of you guys look up to me. And I never entered into all this as someone to be kind of like, oh, look at me. Look up to me. Follow my lead. But while people are actually looking at me as an example of something that they want to aspire to, like, really feel a responsibility to take a path. If I'm going to be walking and people are going to be following me, I have a responsibility to walk a path that's going to be in the best interests of the people that follow my lead. And I really take that very, very seriously. And this is part of the reason why I don't. Look, I know I used to rant a bit on my channel. This is part of the reason why I've shifted a bit and I don't go all in on these ethos and stuff these days, because I really understand that it's, there was a video, I don't know if anyone saw it, and I might even share it up in a second, but basically this chick on Twitter, she was losing the plot and she was actually starting to get, in fact, I'm going to just quickly find it here. Perrier, hey, respect, man, respect. I'm just going to pull this up here because I think this is this is a classic example of what happens when we continue to repeat the same thing over and over again, and because repetition actually installs beliefs in your head. If you, for example, coaches and stuff tell you that with respect to personal affirmation, you keep saying stuff in the mirror like I am strong, I'm confident, things like this. If you say it enough, you start to believe it, right? So you don't want to be saying the wrong things too often. And I really think that this is a fatal flaw that a lot of people are actually making. And it's something that really, I guess in many ways actually is rather concerning to me personally. So I'm going to share this tweet up on the screen of this chick that I saw. It was actually pretty nuts. Let's do this. Share screen. Here we go. And I'm going to bring this up full screen as well for you guys, for your benefit.
Also, just one more thing before I go into work. I'm becoming afraid of my hatred for men. It started as a fun little, those TikToks where people are like, don't make jokes about having kinks because your brain doesn't know you're joking, and it actually develops them. I think I joked way too much about hating men, and now I am genuinely, in a sexist way, I hate them. Like, in a way that a white man from Alabama hates black people, I hate men. I walk past them and I want to kill them, and they aren't even doing anything. I just see them and it fills me with rage. I don't know how to stop. It's gone way too far. It consumes me. Also, just one more
Right. Right. So when you talk, when these feminists talk too much about things being toxic, when they talk too much about violence, like they believe that everything's toxic, everything's violent. Like you're actually perpetuating your own words by installing them in your own head. This is deeply subconscious stuff. If anyone who's done neuro-linguistic programming, you'll understand how this works. But yeah, what's your take on that video, Solo?
I mean, that's what happens, right? When you feed into the confirmation bias, you know what I mean? So the issue with feminists is that they're feeding into this belief that masculinity is toxic, men are toxic. And so now they're trying to redefine gender identities and gender roles. But deep down, and I'll tell you this, Sydney, I'll be honest, like I was dating a girl, and unbeknownst to me, come to find out she was feminist. Now, let's be honest. Technically, if a woman is in the Western world, I don't care if it's in the United States, if it's in Britain, Germany, Australia, if she's in the Western, hemisphere, they're all feminists, even because of the way that the system, raises these women, right? But one thing about this self-proclaimed feminist was that even though she recognized that she was feminist and she said it openly, she still wanted to be with a man who's masculine. All this soy boy and male feminists, these I'm not going to mention his name because I don't want you to get in trouble. But all these male feminists that want to pander to these women, that's not what they want. They want a man with masculine energy. And one thing about me, Sydney, I used to be just like you. I mean, I still go in, but I've had
You used to be white?
I said I used to go in, and one thing about it is that, with the red pill rage, right? I don't call it red pill rage. I call it blue pill rage. And I call it blue pill rage because it's the reconciliation from going from blue pill to fully red pill. And I've been doing NoFap as well. For those who follow my channel, day 420. Day 4 on semen retention, there's a difference in my opinion and whatnot. But long story short, I think that once you get to a place where you truly accept female nature for what it is, you can be at peace. You can live your life and realize that a lot of these women, they're for the streets, and most of them, they're not going to get it until it's too late or until they have to be on OnlyFans, throwing it back for the whole world to see. So, yeah.
Yeah, man, I totally agree with you. Also, shout out to Channel 1-800-DUMB. Shout out to the brothers. Once you release the gates of hell, women follow. Love to you both and all the boys. Thank you for that super chat, man. And look, I think you're absolutely right on exactly what you said. And I love the way that you articulated that with respect to the rage, because there's just something about, look, men have testosterone. Testosterone is the male hormone. If you have a high level of testosterone, there's also a high level of cognitive strength. And I'm not saying this in a sense that women don't have the capacity for a high level of thinking, but with regards to emotional resilience, that is something that comes with high levels of testosterone. And that is why you see guys who have high levels of testosterone and nothing phases them, right? And the high levels of stress don't send them into a frenzy. Whereas, if you have estrogen flooding through your veins and you encounter a high level of stress, the chances are you're going to become very emotional. And that's not a criticism of women. That's just a reality of biology. It's actually very important that women do have high levels of estrogen for child rearing, because you need to actually be able to have that emotional acuity to understand the tiny little nuances in your child. And if you've got the ability to understand the tiny nuances in a child, you've also got the capability of understanding tiny nuances in a man. And this is part of the reason, in my view, why women have such a massive capacity for manipulation, because they understand all of these tiny little shifts and what's going on with a guy, and they're one step ahead of you. But this is something that has been a really fascinating evolution for me, because I see that as guys start to understand what's going on with women, like people come to me and they go, "Can you believe a woman did this? Can you believe this happened?" I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely, I can believe it, because I understand the mechanics behind it, and I'm not mad about it. I'm not even remotely mad. Like, if we want to address this and we want to stop this from happening and we want to rectify this, let's look at the causal factors and let's address them. And once we address those, then the symptoms will go away, right? We're not removing the cause. We're just, we keep putting Band-Aids on the cuts. We don't take the knife away. And I think this is the fundamental thing. And the feminist argument seems to be, well, you cut yourself on the knife, so we need to put more knives out there so you're more aware of how the knives can cut you. Like this is the argument for feminism, in my view. So that's kind of how I see things. And with respect to what I was saying before, look, women have always monetized their sexuality. They've, you look back into the early 1900s, you had prostitution, you had burlesque dancers, you've got marriage. There's always been a way that women can extract resources from a man. And look, this is going back to primal times, going back to caveman days, going back to when people were just Neanderthals. Like, this was the exchange. You're the masculine protector, and I will take the fruits of your labor and I will turn that into something to care for the community. And when we talk about the community, I think that's why women are so drawn to communism, because they think everything should be a group effort and everything should be a community thing. And it's weak men that are allowing these kind of ideas to propagate and allowing women to take over the universities, which are churning out journalists, they're churning out educators, they're churning out teachers, they're churning out politicians, they're churning out legal professionals, they're churning out psychologists. All of the facets of life that control and educate and install thoughts in our mind are now being taken over by basically taken over by feminists, because they're learning feminist crap in universities and they're coming out into the world and they're spreading it. And so anyone wants to know where it's coming from the universities. And until we actually stop this, it's going to continue. And that's why I was so happy when I saw Viktor Orban of Hungary ban gender studies and send the military into the universities and rip out all the leftist propaganda. And, look, if you have left-wing views, look, and I lean left on some stuff, I'm not mad at people being compassionate towards others, but, there's a line, and we need to look at the greater good of people. And for anyone that says, well, we need to supplant the greater good of people with the needs of these few people, I'm sorry, but just not putting together a rational proposition for the continuation of a peaceful society.
Yeah, and you know, when you look at this situation, right, not to deviate from what you're saying, with this OnlyFans, that article, right, it basically, the women are trying to make it seem like, oh, well, you know, times are hard and I have to do this. And it's like, no, I know that there's some people who are not getting unemployment benefits because they're backed up, but people are still getting unemployment. You could have gotten that, right? And when you look at the rationalization that women have for this, saying, oh, well, you know, I lost my job, so I have to do this. I know plenty of people, even in my personal life, that have lost jobs and they got unemployment, Sydney. And one girl, even, I can say it on your channel, I can't say it on mine, but she made more money on unemployment than she did as a waitress, right? She made a lot of money. So what she did is she went on all these trips. You know, she went to LA a couple times. She went to Vegas, Arizona. You know, it's a girl that I've interviewed on my channel. Her name is Jazz. Shout out to her. And you know what, Sydney? Here I am working from home, busting my ass. And I can't take all these trips because I'm still working. I'm still doing what I got to do as a man, because at the end of the day, I'm the one holding the system up. You know, you are too, whenever you're paying your taxes, you know, and whatnot. And here's the thing, Sydney, and I'm give me a couple minutes. The reckoning is coming, guys. I think the COVID was a practice run, but as I said in the article, and I know some people think I'm crazy, there is going to be a food shortage. Hormel Food came out 2 months ago, stating in August that they are not able to meet the food supply chain this winter. They came out and publicly stated this. And Hormel Foods, for those of you who are not aware, they make Spam. Spam has been around forever. I mean, that's what they used during world wars to feed the militaries because it was cheap. And also, you know, it was something that could last long. And they also do other meats, corned beef and such. But Sydney, here's what's going to happen, okay? And this is where a lot of guys will rejoice. And I'm not trying to make fun of anybody, but especially guys, incel guys. What's going to happen is these women, once this food shortage hits, they're going to let you smash for a can of beans, a loaf of bread, and a half a bottle of Perrier water, Sydney. You're going to get the full service special. Mark my words. So make sure you stock up. I mean, I'm buying water every week. I got my guns and ammo, so don't think you guys can come here and try me, because I got something for your ass. You know what I mean? These women will knock at your door and be like, Sir Sydney, I will give you some sloppy toppy for a loaf of bread and some butter, and she will gobble you up like Thanksgiving, like it's a Thanksgiving Day dinner. I kid you not, she will, sir.
It's funny you say that, because I've actually already had a couple of girls hit me up earlier when everything was going crazy. So, you know, I totally agree with you 100%. And this is definitely a thing. And I mean, we've already got girls that do what's called a foodie call, right? It's like a booty call, but rather than asking for some booty from you, I mean, even though you're technically the one getting their booty, but you know, they're after the quote unquote booty from you. But the reality is, what's actually going on is that they're just wanting food. So you don't even get any sleeve. You know what I mean? And it's like, and look, guys, you know, Solo's right, and Solo's ahead of the game in terms of stocking up on stuff and getting his weaponry at the ready, because we got stuff like this going on, right? Gun sales have surged to record numbers since March, right? Surged to record numbers. So, you know, look, it's no. Here we go. In March, when the COVID-19 pandemic moved from an abstract to an immediate concern for the US, FBI background checks, the standard measure of gun sales, hit a then all-time high of 3.7 million. Wow. In February, the number was 2.8 million. This was just the beginning. Background checks increased by 48% from March through July in comparison with 2019 figures. And June set an all-time record of 3.9. Wow-wee. So many guns were being sold, it created a backlog in the background check system. So, you know, this is happening. This is happening right now, and this is not going to go away. And while all of this is happening, this is the crazy thing, right? While all of this is happening, you've got these, like, I'm gonna show you these two things, right? This is crazy stuff. Oh, hang on. I think we've got a little bit of a jam going on here. Can you unmute yourself and tell me if you can still hear me solo?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay, well, I'm going to keep talking for a second there while this browser hopefully unfreezes itself. But yeah, man, look, it's crazy times that we're living in, and I honestly think that we're in for a tough ride. The reality is a lot of these people have gone out of business, and especially with a lot of these incentives that have been given to people to, just stay at home and stay on JobKeeper. As you were saying, there was a girl you knew who she was actually doing quite well off the back of JobKeeper. Off the back of unemployment benefits. The powers that be, and God help America if Biden wins in a few days from now. But yeah, it's going to be a really, really interesting journey from here, because I've got money on Trump winning. I think he's going to win, but then there's some crazy stuff going on. Look, the reality is that things are never going to be the same. And like, even Michelle Obama's daughter got caught the other day, like dancing on Snapchat and, using derogatory terms that would directly impact her if it was used against her. And I'm kind of going, where is all this going? You know what I mean? Like, where are we heading to with all this? Because it's going down a path that it shouldn't be going down. And I'm kind of concerned about it, if I'm being honest. So yeah, what's your thoughts, man?
Okay. So, yeah. Yeah, Sydney, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to quickly jump out and jump back in. But yeah, please talk away while I do that.
All right, everybody. I'm taking over the Sydney show. So, here's the reality. We live in an age now where, it's the women are being venerated. Everything is being pushed for girls, this and that, right? And these women are they're talking about, oh, well, I just interviewed a woman, Sydney, and you saw the interview, part of it. But she says that women are so smart and that they get smarter. And I'm thinking to myself, well, if they're so smart, why aren't they in STEM? Why is it STEM still 90+% men? And the reality is, a lot of people don't realize a lot of these women, they want both. They want feminism when it benefits them, and they want traditionalism when it benefits them. But it has to benefit them. It's not about equality. It's about superiority. And what's going to happen is this, and a lot of people say, Solo, you're crazy, talking about food shortage. Well, guess what? Last year at this time, none of us were working from home. Well, most of us weren't. None of us were dealing with this beer flu, So if you would have told me last year that a beer flu would shut down America, that millions of people would be on unemployment, that this would cause this type of chaos, I would have thought you were joking. But I want people to understand this is the time to prepare and take heed. And don't just think that things are going back to normal. Things aren't going back to normal. And if things do go back to some sort of a normal, it's going to take at least a couple of years. And we as men, especially in these spaces, we know this, and we need to take action. And this is why I always advocate, make sure that you have your, food supply ready, your gun stocked, make sure you have your crypto just in case, because that is going to happen as well. Bitcoin just hit 14,000 the other day. So, all these things, man, I talk about that on my channel, Solo TV 84, give people that relevant information, because a lot of people, when that reckoning comes, they're going to be in for a world of hurt. and you're gonna see women calling you guys that women give you the cold shoulder, ready to suck your shish kebab for a piece of sausage. Back to you, Sydney.
Yeah, 100%, man. And as you actually showed me in this article I got up on the screen, US faces shortage of up to 8 billion meals in the next 12 months. That is a lot of meals. That is a lot of meals. There's going to be a lot of people going real hungry, because you got to keep in mind that 8 billion meal shortage is not going to be equally spread across everybody, because there's some people that can afford to get every meal that they've always had. So it's going to be the poorest people that are going to be most disadvantaged. And this is all over a power grab, a political power grab, in my view, by the Washington elites. And, I even heard, I don't know if you've seen this as well, Solo, but I saw a video of Kamala Harris talking, and she referred to the she's obviously assuming the victory, but she referred to the upcoming administration as a Harris administration alongside Joe Biden. Right. Man, I wish I caught that laughter on audio right now. You can't make this stuff up, man. You can't make this stuff up. Like, she's literally exposing the agenda of what they're trying to do wide open. They're not even trying to hide it. Like, it's at this point where they're trying to let their supporters know what the intention is. It's like, get Biden. Dude, there was even a chick. I don't know if you've seen this. It was actually it's not even borderline insane. It was actually absolutely insane. This chick I saw yesterday on Twitter, I had to go and dig and search and find this again. But there was actually a woman who was saying she would let Joe Biden grapefruit her in the middle of Fifth Avenue. Rather, even if he did that to her, she would still vote for Trump. This is how insane these chicks are. In fact, you know what? I think I've actually found it right here. Let me just see if I can share this with you guys, because this is genuinely nuts. This is genuinely psychotic, insane, nut job kind of stuff. Like, it's not normal. Here we go. I'm pretty sure I found it just now. Yes, I found it. I'm going to share this up on the screen. I'm going to swap out for that tab. And look, guys, you seriously cannot make this stuff up. Here we go. Tab Sandy. Get a load of this. Joe Biden could grapefruit me in the middle of Fifth Avenue, and I would still vote for him before I would vote for Trump or Sanders. And it's not the first time she's done it either. She's done this multiple. Here we go. Writer, artist, activist, Democrat, Hillary supporter, worst selling author on Amazon. and so there's that. And then there is also this other video. I don't know if you've seen this before, but this is just showing how insane these chicks who call themselves Marxists are. Let's have a load of this.
Whatever you say, liberal. Okay, liberal. Yeah, live. Whatever you say, liberal. Okay, liberal. Yeah, live. Whatever you say, liberal. Okay, liberal.
Solo, can I get a response to that?
That was disturbing. That was very disturbing. Was that human? Was that a she or was that a he, she? I couldn't tell. Like, what?
You'll have to ask her what her pronouns are.
Anyway, that was disturbing. That was disturbing. Here's the thing. I'm not Democrat, nor am I Republican. However, I think between the two, Trump is the better option between the two, although I honestly don't prefer neither, to be honest with you. However, Biden, that guy, he doesn't even know his own name, bro. Like, I remember watching, some of the debates, and this guy he's deteriorating very fast. And if Harris wins, goodness gracious, I mean, that's scary, because what they're planning to do is they want to lock everything down again, you know, and we already saw what it has done to the American economy, the world economy. Me personally, when they showed the numbers that, you know, what was it? Something like, you know, people who have it, most of them recover. It was like a 90% rate, 99% rate or something. I say, you know what? There's always been flus and colds in the history of the world, right? We've had worse plagues than this. The Black Plague, you know, the Spanish flu and other plagues worse than this, right? Yet they want to shut everything down. And to me, it is an agenda for the elites to implement martial law. And when you start talking like that, they say you're crazy, Sydney. They say you're losing it, Solo. But once again, you've seen all these businesses closing down. And for what? For what? I mean, this is not good. And Biden winning. And what scares me, Sydney, about this voting, I saw some stat that 75 million people have already mailed in their votes, right? I'm afraid that there's going to be some vote tampering going on, you know? And I don't know, man. I mean, you know, last time I remember when, you know, Trump was running against Hillary, and they were saying, oh, Hillary's up 10 points and this and that. And then Trump kicked Hillary's ass, you know? And I expect it to happen again, but I'm scared that if Biden wins and they decide to close everything down, it's going to set us back, man, to the ice age.
Yeah, 100%, man. And there's actually something that I want to show everyone, because look, a conspiracy is when two or more people or entities are conspiring together to gain a certain outcome, whether it be political or social or a combination of both. And a theory is when you have an idea or a concept, and there are theories with evidence and there are theories without evidence. A lot of the so-called conspiracy theories that a lot of us guys in the manosphere are putting out there, especially what we're talking about right now, yes, it's a conspiracy theory, but it's a theory based on evidence. Evidence like this. This is from the United Nations. All right, so people are like, oh, there's no conspiracy, there's no plan to do a Marxist takeover, there's no feminist agenda. It's like, dude, it's right there on the United Nations website, one of the biggest organizations in the world. We've got this website here, right? This is basically a collective of university activists, Marxist University. Sign up today. Communist Manifesto with Karl Marx and Frederick, you know, fascism, what it is and how to fight it. And of course, they're referring to Trump because they want Biden and Harrison because they can manipulate those people, because those people are driven by money and power and not by patriotism. And, you know, look, that's my view of Trump. Like I see him. I've watched a lot of Trump, and my feel is that he's a genuine patriot. I mean, dude, look, I'm telling you, if I was a multi-billionaire businessman and I didn't give a shit about the country, I'm not going to throw myself into the fray of politics. It's just as simple as that. I'm not going to do it. Why would I? It's just, it doesn't make sense to me. So, and he's been talking for many, many years about how he's not really that into it all. But yeah, man, go for it.
Yeah, another thing, and I did a episode yesterday with Zandos Clutch, where you know what, what's up with the liberal talking point? If you don't vote Democrat, you're not black. I mean, that annoys me. And this is how this whole fake woke liberalism thing, the liberals are the most racist party that there is. I got to say it, because they like to play on race, and they like to say, oh, well, look at what we're doing for the black people. We're giving you welfare. We're giving you Section 8. And guess what it has done to the black community? I talk about that all the time. I used to. You know, I've talked about it so much that I can't even talk about it anymore. But look at what it has done. Look at these black women running around rampant, all crazy, having a bunch of babies by different Tyrones and Pookies and Ray Rays. And I mean, and this is supposed to be woke, trying to play on the agenda of race. Now they got strippers, Sydney. They're using strippers to get black men to vote. How stupid do they think that black men are? Last time I think that a lot of black men voted for Trump make no mistake, Sydney, I will put my paycheck on it that more black men will vote for Trump in this election than the last. The fact that they're trying to use big booty strippers, like, you know, the Cardi B types, and tell black, like they're trying to use sex to entice men to vote. And that's how stupid they are.
Chelsea Handler.
Yeah, and you know what? We don't need that, because when that food shortage is coming, these girls are going to be knock, knock. Who's there? Oh, Solo, it's Tiffany. Remember me from 5 years ago? I flaked on you. Do you have any food? I don't have anything. Oh, please, Solo, I'll suck your dick for like some ramen noodles. Okay, come in. Here the ramen. Wait. First suck my dick, then you get the ramen.
It's like, knock, knock. Who's there? Solo. Solo who? Solo mother. Oh, man. I mean, yeah, it's out of control. I don't know if you've been following Project Veritas much. I can't remember if it was on Facebook or whether it was on YouTube, but I saw something from Project Veritas this morning. It was a video, and it was this white chick that was vote harvesting like massively. Where is it here? Look, I'll see if I can find this. It's but man, it's just out of control. Like, is this it? Is this it? Can we play this? Here we go. I found it.
Earlier this week,
I'm gonna bring this up. I'm gonna bring this up full screen for everyone's enjoyment, because this is what we're up against, guys. Honestly.
introduce you to Raquel Rodriguez and her illegal election law activities in San Antonio, Texas. Well, there is more. Listen carefully as she tells our undercover journalist the cost of buying votes.
I've got 3 Democrats, 3 Republicans, and the rest are Democrats.
Okay.
So, how much money are we talking? Because just so you'll know, when you do things like this for votes, you're talking between $5 to $8 per vote. I'm just letting you know, so you have an idea. And I'm going to bring $3,500 to the plate,
Okay.
countywide. So I know what I'm bringing to the plate countywide. So that's like $28,000.
Like model right now. He said, okay, Raquel, if you were running, what would you do? So he sat me down and I said, I would do this, and this. He said, how much money do you think you would need? And I budgeted everything, right? Okay, boom, you do it. So he was paying me $5,000 a month, and now he's paying me $8,000 a month. Why? Because I took in these extra jobs.
So between you and me, I've got 4 judges that are calling me right now. This is what they're asking me. And they're like, we want to be a part.
Where was this?
56,000?
Probably. And then 2 months of early voting. 2 months of early voting is my people's 5 to 7.
You're a marketing genius.
I told her, are you tired of losing? Because she lost twice. 3 strikes, you're out.
So look, I'm not going to go into too much detail on this. I'm actually going to pin this video at the top of the comments here on the channel, just so that people can. Look, I'm gonna pin it as a comment after this video finishes. But you guys.
I think your audio's off, man. I can't hear you. Can you guys hear him? Can you guys hear me?
Can you hear me all right? Okay. I don't know what happened there. I think my cat stood on my roadcaster. But yeah. So what's your thoughts about that? You seeing this chick doing all the vote harvesting?
I mean, this has been going on for, Sydney. It's just so blatant now, right? I just think that at this point, really, when you look at, why is she not in jail? That's my question. Why is she not in jail? Oh, you're on mute, bro. You're on mute.
Bro, I can't hear you actually.
Okay, I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Yeah,
Yeah, I
you
can
hear
hear you. I can hear you.
Damn, I can't hear you. Let me just jump out for a second. I'll be right back.
All right. So, so while Sydney gets his stuff together, you know, the food shortage is happening. And people can call me crazy. People can say that I'm reaching. But like I said, do your own research. You just saw the article Sydney pulled up earlier. Hormel Foods has made confirmations. And all it will take is just another reckoning. And when this happens, come back to the video, and you guys going to say Solo TV 84 called it. I'm thinking it'll happen very soon, sometime either at the end of the year or early 2021. That's what I'm thinking. And if I'm wrong, everybody gets a smile and a pat on the back. Yeah,
man. Look, same here. I agree with everything Solo just said. Not because Solo just said it, but because, you know, I think you and I, Solo, were both on the same page. We're both on the same kind of wavelength with regards to the way that we've been thinking about all this. And, you know, we've seen the same trends, and it's just a logical conclusion that we've both reached based on the information available to us. And, you know, even if OnlyFans were to crash and burn tomorrow, there's going to be, look, girls are going to constantly evolve. They're going to keep using their sexuality, because when you've got girls like Bella Thorne making $1 million in 24 hours just for promising to show a picture of something that people want to see, and people are paying like $100, $200 for these pictures. Are you kidding me? Like, what guys, if you continue to give girls money when they come to you begging, if you continue to buy OnlyFans subscriptions, if you continue to buy gifts and fly her out from other states, like, you think that you're the only dude doing this stuff? Is that what you think? Like, is that what you know? Like, I'm under no, like, dude, even like there's one girl I know, and look, if and you know, she holds a very dear place in my heart, and if I know that if I ever said, hey, you and me, let's make this exclusive, let's do this, like, come over to the dark side, well, or the white side, if you look at my face, then, you know, like, she'll rock up straight away. But I'm under no illusion that she's sitting around, you know, waiting for my phone call, waiting for me to call her up and be like, hey, you know, it's time, you know. She's hooking up with other dudes, she's banging other guys, she's sucking other guys off, and I'm not mad about it, because I know that's how it is, because women need this connection. And I've said this many, many times. If you're not effing her, somebody else is. That's a straight fact. Solo, can you confirm?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a saying, right, that every woman has two men in her life. One man for money and another man for sex. And that in this lifetime, you are lucky if you will be the one she will have for both, right? That's a saying. I think DJ Academic said it. Shout out to him. That's the first time I heard it. But that's the reality. We call it, you know, alpha smashes beta bucks in the community, right? In the red pill community. And that's a real thing. If you listen, I've been in both sides. I've been the guy, I'll be honest with you, I've been the guy buying the girl dinners and, you know, taking the girl out and making her feel special, whatnot. And then I've also been the guy that the girl was buying me dinner, taking me out, doing all types of stuff. And the reality is that the men that they truly want, they will go above and beyond. All this criteria and high standards list goes out the window for that guy that she really likes, right? You ever had a girl that says, oh, I don't like to give blowjobs, whatever, right? As soon as you shoot your load, she backs up like it's acid. Well, guess what? That same girl, for another guy, she'll slap the penis in her face, talking about how she loves sucking cock. As soon as the pre-cum comes out, she lets the guy spray the load in the back of her throat. Excuse me for my graphicness, but I'm saying that, you know, that's the reality. Women have.
I'm a graphic designer.
Reality, and women put men in those two categories, either the beta bucks or the alpha. And in certain situations, if you're lucky, and I wouldn't call it lucky, they put you in both. But typically, we already know those guys, they end up getting married. And then half the time, those guys, they don't even get to clap the cheeks anymore.
Let me tell you a little story. And I've never shared this story on my channel before, and I probably won't again. And look, and I'm not acting like, I'm not going to pretend like I was the good guy here, but this is just the reality of the situation. I want to paint a picture for you how the dynamics of the real world actually works, and so you have an understanding of what actually goes on. So when I was probably in my early 20s, I just moved out of home. I was just moved to Sydney, not too far back, and at one stage I lost my license when I was in my late teens because I was a bad kid on the road and I didn't behave myself. So that's what happens, right? You lose your license, and as a result of losing my license, I still needed to get to work in the next town, which was like 25 minutes away. And in order to get to the next town, which is 25 minutes away, hang on a sec, let me get this freaking. There we go. Move back on your pillow. Thank you. In order to get to this town, which is 25 minutes away, I had to catch a ride with another guy that worked over in that area, and I gave him money each week in order to do that. So it was fair, but I got to work really early every day, and I had like the little pocket radio with the AAA batteries, and I like put the little cheap earphones in, and I'd listen away. And I'm like 20, 21 years old. Right? This is almost 20 years ago. Holy shit, man! And I'm listening to this radio station. I would call up, and this is when analog phones, like before we had digital phones over in Australia. Like this is like I was working in the telco industry. I'm like programming, because what you do is you have a phone, and rather than actually putting a SIM card in, you'd actually program in a serial number. Like you'd call up the telecommunication provider on your like scratchy white cordless phone, and you'd be sitting there programming the phone with what they told you. So, man, this is like old school, right? Everything's written pads, and you mail it in, and they process it on their end. Fuck, man, show my age, right? But I'll get to the point. I would call up every morning because I was one of the few that had a mobile phone, and I would enter into the competitions on the radio. And this girl, I'm going to call her Kyla. I'm not going to call her by her real name. So Kyla was working at this local radio station, and I called up so much that we actually ended up developing a friendship, and we got along well, and that was good, and nothing crossed the line. And then she moved up to Townsville, and I kept in touch with her, and she had a boyfriend. And I would even talk to her when she was sitting watching Big Brother with her boyfriend beside her. Right? And like, this is the audacity. And we got to a stage where we started like sexting back and forth, and she started to come once a month down to Sydney for a weekend, and I would smash for a weekend and then send her back to the boyfriend, right? And this went on for a while, and then she was like, hey, I'd really like it if you came up more north towards me, because Sydney's down south, Townsville's way up north in Queensland. And I went up to Brisbane, and she flew from Townsville to Brisbane, which is a very short regional flight. And we met up with this girl that she'd actually picked up online. And I'm going to call this girl Emily. So I met up with Kyla at the airport, and we went back to the hostel we'd organized to stay at. And then Emily met up with us. And Emily was a little bit apprehensive at first, like, I don't know if I should do this or not. And so Kyla bought some drinks, then Emily bought some drinks, and then they didn't realize they skipped me, and Kyla bought more, and then Emily bought more. So they bought 4 rounds of drinks done, and I haven't paid for any. And then they're like, oh, isn't it your turn to buy some drinks? And I was like, okay, fair enough. So I went over and I got the next round. And I went over and I gave a drink to the girl that I was hooking up with, Kyla, and then I handed one to Emily in person, and I sat down next to Emily. And I started talking, and as I was talking, I could see the girl, Kyla, over the table giving me the look like, you're going to make a move or what? So I started like just inching my hand onto the thighs of Emily, and I get to like their right inner thighs, and I meet where the thighs meet, and this girl is just like she just jumped on top of me and started pashing me in front of Kyla. And about 20 seconds of this intense moment go by, and Emily goes, I think it's about time we get this boy upstairs. Hey, Kyla. And I'm like, let's go. And I grab both of them by the hands and I'm like, come with me, ladies. We go upstairs to the room and it's on. There's t-shirts and shorts and socks flying everywhere. And before you know it, I'm the meat in a snow bunny sandwich. You know what I mean? Now, it gets better. And by the way, guys, there's nothing better than the feeling of titties on the front, titties on the back. So, I work my magic to like 3, 4 a.m. in the morning. And, plot twist. Emily has a boyfriend. So Kyla and Emily both have boyfriends. And I'm smashing both at the same time. And then I go out to visit my... I'm going to call her my ex-girlfriend for all intents and purposes. I'm going to call her Helen. Now, when I say ex-girlfriend, I mean she took a break from her boyfriend and she was smashing me for a while and then she went back to him. So that's the context in which I say ex-girlfriend. And I went and visit. She was like, I just bought a house with I'm going to call him Anthony. Helen just bought a house with Anthony, and I just want to show you the new house. We're getting married next weekend, and since you're up there, I haven't seen you for ages. I just really love to show you around. I thought nothing of it. So, and Kyla knew that I was going to go visit this person, and she's like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna smash." And I was like, "No, it's not like that." She's like, "Yeah, you're gonna smash." And I went over there fully thinking that I wasn't going to smash it. I'm just checking out the house, saying hi. And she's like, "Oh, so good to see you. And look, come and check out my house." And she's like, "And here's the front bedroom, and here's the bathroom, and here's the laundry, and here's the kitchen." She's like, "And here's the main bedroom." And she walks me into the main bedroom. And I was like, "Okay, this is like a 4-bedroom house. You told me, like, where's the other bedrooms?" She goes, "You don't need to see those." And she started kissing me. And then we smashed. She's getting married the next weekend. Like 5 days later. Dude. So, and even though, I can't believe that even after that, I was simping for like 10 years almost. But in hindsight, this told me so much about, how, look, if a girl's attracted to you and she's attracted to you over and above the person she's with, it's unlikely that she's going to give him the same level of sexual access as she will you, even if he's the provider. And there's this article I saw a while ago from the attraction doctor. He calls himself the attraction doctor. And we got people in the chat saying #smash. But yeah, this is why women can't find a good man. And it says, why are women frustrated with dating? Dating and relationships have always been hard. In this day and age, however, they can sometimes seem impossible. Particularly women I speak to say that they can't find a good man. They lament over the guys they say are stuck in childhood, not taking responsibility for their lives. They complain about the men they call nice guy pushover types who don't stir passionate feelings. Guys, this is where it's at. Passionate feelings. Passionate feelings, passionate feelings. Understand that. They also have difficulty with men they label attractive jerks who disrespect them, ignore their needs, and break hearts. What is going on here? Have all of the good men blown away? Personally, I would like to offer an alternative hypothesis, one where women have been put in a very unfulfilling double bind. I would like to posit that cultural and biological factors have been pitted against each other, leaving women in a no-win situation most of the time in modern life. And in her book, Why We Love, author Helen Fisher describes 3 types of love. Lust, which is feeling sexual desire, which is clearly what these girls felt for me in that situation. Attraction, feeling special, allure, and motivation to pursue and choose a partner. And attachment, feelings of bonding around sharing a home, parental duties, mutual defense, safety, and security. Now, I want to reiterate what I said before I started this story. And I know some of you guys are like, that's an awesome story. And yes, I would say it is a pretty awesome story in terms of how everything works. And I will send that article to you, Red Sings the Blues. But look, the reality is, guys, that even if you have the capacity to do something like this, I don't necessarily agree that it's the right thing to do, because for every guy's girlfriend that you're smashing, there's a guy who is getting screwed over behind the scenes, and I just don't know that that's going to be conducive to bringing back balance in terms of gender dynamics. What's your thoughts, Solo?
Yeah, it happens. It happens. I mean, it's funny that we were talking about some of our exploits in the past, right? And when you're younger, you think with your head below. And I remember my first threesome experience. I met these two girls at the club, and I shit you not, both of them had the same name, right? What are the odds of that? And long story short, after I got done hooking up with them, the coochie residue hasn't even dried off my penis yet. Excuse me, guys, for the graphicness. But the girl texted me, the one that I really was going after, and said, "Hey, I had fun tonight, but I can't see you again. Me and my boyfriend decided to get back together." Now, mind you, I met her at the club at midnight, and she left my place at 5. And by 6 a.m., she got back with her boyfriend. Now, do you think while she was tongue kissing him, when she had just been sucking on my phallus, that she had told him that she had my shish kebab in her mouth just an hour ago? Probably not, And of course, there are also certain situations where sometimes you may meet a woman that she won't tell you that she has a boyfriend or a husband, and those situations, I can't fault a guy for that, but it's true what they say. Girlfriends and wives, they're the easiest women to get, because those women, they tend to be in relationships that they're not having regular sex, or the sex is subpar, and those women yearn affection, and there's a guy who, may give him those attraction, triggers, or whatever you want to call it, and she feels desired again, and then they succumb to that. So yeah, I'm not one to brag about that, because I do believe in karma, and I know some people may say that's silly, but I'm not one to. I don't make it a goal to smash women that have boyfriends or husbands, because what goes around does eventually come back. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, man, I agree with you. And shout out to Red Sings the Blues. He says, I got death threats for smashing the beta's girl. I've actually been in that same situation myself, and it's not a pleasant thing to happen. And Elvin also said it goes both ways for real. And I would be inclined to actually agree with Elvin. And, back to what you said, Solo, about how it's quite easy often to sleep with a girlfriend or a wife, because often they may be in a sexless or a sexual relationship or relationship with minimal sex. That also goes in the other direction as well. If a guy is feeling unfulfilled, like I was talking to a dude the other night, and like he's a gay guy, but he's got a lot of flight attendant friends, and one of the flight attendants was really good friends with him, and through this guy, the flight attendant. So there's a female flight attendant and then the guy flight attendant I was talking to. So the female flight attendant was good friends with the male flight attendant, and the boyfriend of the female flight attendant, through that connection, knew the male flight attendant. And the female flight attendant's boyfriend actually went to the male flight attendant and asked for his help. And he said, look, can you please talk to her for me? Because, I'm in a sexless relationship and I feel so lonely.
Your audio cut off again, bro. Your audio cut off again. Yeah, your audio is off. Yeah. Now you're on mute. Now you're on mute. Unmute yourself.
Nope, hang on. All good? Cool.
Okay, now you're mute again. Now you're mute. Sorry, guys, we're having technical difficulties. This is what happens when you expose the truth, I guess. Yeah, shout out to you guys complimenting the green screen. Appreciate that.
Yeah, welcome back. So, man, basically, I just, I need to restart this computer. It's been a while. Just always putting it into sleep mode, not a good thing. But yeah, so there's the female flight attendant, the male flight attendant. Basically, the female flight attendant's boyfriend went to the male one and said, "Hey, can you talk to her for me? It's an issue. There's no sex in the relationship. I'm really missing that intimacy, and I'm afraid I'm, gonna want to go and cheat if there's no sex in the relationship." And so the male flight attendant said to his female flight attendant friend, "Just put it in your mouth." Like, he literally said to me, that's what he said, "Just put it in your mouth." And she didn't take his advice. And what ended up happening is he ended up cheating. And she came back to the male flight attendant and said, "I wish I just put it in my mouth," because he was the perfect husband. And that was what broke it. And when she's not putting it in your mouth, there's going to be instances where guys are going to stray. And look, I'm not perfect, all right? I've been a bad boy in the past. I take full responsibility. I'm not advocating for any of you to be that way. The reality is that it's going to happen if you need something enough, and it's a core need of yours emotionally, you're going to end up smashing somewhere else. And that's what's happened to me in the past in a couple of relationships that were sexless. So, you can't really fault women for doing exactly the same thing if you're not, laying down the pipe, if you're not playing the plumber. You know what I'm saying? But by the way, so speaking of ex-girlfriends, there was an ex-girlfriend that I had, and still great friends with her to this day. And one of her 5 love languages was her primary one was quality time, right? And quality time and physical touch, I would say. And because I was so busy all the time, like on my grind and working on my goals, she gave me this shirt. So I thought I'd wear this today. "I work harder than an ugly stripper." And it's true, man. And, and I wanted to wear that shirt for this particular stream just because there's, look, everyone's trying to make ends meet at the moment. And look, one thing that makes me sad for girls, genuinely sad, is that a lot of them don't see the trickle-on consequences of choices that they're making now. Like, we've seen that with Mia Khalifa. She came out and said that, she would have a time again. Maybe she was just talking smack, but, I'm inclined to believe that there was a significant amount of remorse there, even if there was also a significant amount of benefit that offset that to some degree. And, I know a girl as well that was considering doing cam work, and she ended up, powering through and starting a business and, getting smart with her money and getting some crypto. I would like to say that I played a little bit of a part in that. And it really makes me happy seeing where she's actually gotten to by pushing through the hard times and getting to where she's gotten to. And I'm where I'm at because I pushed through the hard times as well, and I got to where I'm getting to. So I think this is a really powerful message that I want to share with all the guys and girls out there that, don't take the easy way out if it's going to potentially bite you in the ass long term, because consistency over time, you can't be an OnlyFans creator for the next 30 years. You know what I mean? It's just not going to work.
Well, Sydney, I got to respectfully disagree with you. I mean, I get what you're saying, right? But my thing that gets me is these women, especially when they're when they're young, I'm talking about 21, 18, 19, 25, they're very arrogant, very entitled, and very delusional. And a lot of these women they go through life thinking that they deserve everything. Everything should be handed to them. I've put women in positions, Sydney, because I'm in the fashion industry, right? As a side hustle. Anybody who follows me on Instagram, it's not a secret. I do videography and photography. But you deal with some of these women, and they're very arrogant, very snobbish, and whatnot, right? But what I will say this, it's not that I feel sorry for them. It's that I accept their nature. And when the food shortage hits Sydney, she's going to be sucking me off. See that? This is how you know the green screen is kicking in. For this bottle of water and some ramen, and she's going to swallow every last drop, Sydney. Now, the part that I think, Sydney, and I got to take it there. The part that I do feel sorry for is the fact that the society that we live in the Western world has strayed from a moral compass, right? Now, I know in the red pill community, when we talk about God and morality, then people say, oh, that's hocus pocus and whatnot. But you can't deny, once the Bible got taken out of the schools, once the country, especially America, started straying from biblical principles and following all this liberal wokeism, that's when all this chaos ensued. And I think that the Bible is the most red pill book there is, Sydney. If you haven't read it, read it, and then you can come debate me on it. But it talked about female nature in the Bible. It warned that women should be submissive to men. It warned that women are not meant to be in leadership roles. God had it right. It's all in the Bible. And when you read the Bible, you're like, wow, because the Bible is actually a guidebook on how to live your life and how to have your best life. But we've strayed from that to a hedonistic society where it's all about feeling good. And yeah, you can, watch all the porn you want, and women can make OnlyFans money. But do you think spiritually these women are fulfilled? No, these women are not spiritually fulfilled. It doesn't matter how many Birkin bags they get. It doesn't matter. And so we've strayed from that. And this is the result that you see. Women thought that having sexual freedom with the sexual revolution would make them happy. Guess what, Sydney? Women are more miserable than ever. And when you look at it, you see it in the numbers. You see that with the surveys. You see that more women are on antidepressants than they've ever been. And why is that? When we get down to the root of the problem, once the women strayed, men we did as well. Once we strayed from the biblical aspects that were given to us to, for us to be able to have the best life possible, now women are miserable. And now women, we live in an age now where, women who are thoughts, women who are for the streets are venerated. It's asinine, because deep down, do you think when she's blowing coke off some guy's penis, she's happy? She might be happy for the moment, but she's not going to be happy for life. And what I feel sorry for is that we as a society, both men and women, have strayed from our biblical principles. And this is why we're at where we're at here today.
Yeah, man. Look, I can't disagree with anything you just said. And it is true. There are a lot of red pill truths in the Bible. And, it's tough, right? Like, I'm not I was baptized Catholic, but I'm not a practicing Catholic. Look, fundamentally, the Bible was written as not only a source of religious doctrine for Catholic.
Oh, Sydney, the powers that be. We're muting you again.
Yep. Can you hear me again? Cool. And I think that a lot of what is actually written in the Bible is written based on observed reality and truths and an understanding of what is needed to form a cohesive society. And look, I'm not saying that Catholicism is the ultimate. I'm not saying that Catholicism is the ultimate goal and that that's what you should follow and that's what you need to do and that everyone should be a Catholic and everyone should practice whatever's in the Bible. But I think that you're right. People are losing their faith, and I have faith in reality, and I would say that I am probably, my moral compass is probably, look, and I've got my flaws, I've got my kinks in my stuff, right? Like no one's perfect. But generally speaking, on most things, my moral compass is pretty straight down the line, I would say. And I don't attack people. I can't tell you the amount of people that have attacked me and slandered me and made videos about me. And yet, like, Solo, like, hand on heart, have you ever heard me speak negatively about anyone in the manosphere, on any sort of malicious level?
No, I have not. Now, on the other hand, I have responded to a few of my detractors. I don't respond to everybody, but when I do, it's people who are lying on me, people who like to take my picture and Photoshop them and, call me derogatory names and make up narratives. And as you guys can see, me and Sydney, we've had a cordial conversation. We're also cool behind the scenes. We've talked about things here and there. Me and Sydney may not agree on everything, right? But we do agree on this. We want men to win. We want men to be happy, and we want men to live their best lives. And when I see people in the red pill who are just coming in and they want to, undermine other people, tear people, meaning they want to tear people down to build themselves up, that's not what I'm about. I'm about unity. I don't care if Sydney's white. I don't care if he's Asian or Indian. I don't care about that. What I care about is that we as men, we go back to masculine principles, that we as men are in a society that makes us happy. And if the society won't make us happy, then we're just going to go our own way, or we're going to do our own thing. And the harsh truth is this, that we can blame women. Yes, women are to blame for a lot of this, but it's also, like Sydney said earlier, you have a lot of weak men who enabled women to do what they're doing. And women, of course, are going to take advantage of it. But like I said, guys, don't fret. She'll come around soon enough, I promise you, for half a bottle of water and some can of beans. You guys be all right.
100%, man. And look, and I really appreciate that, Solo. Like I said, I'm very much on the same page with you on most stuff, and I think we've both got very good intentions, and both Solo and I just want to see guys in the manosphere lift each other up. And look, we don't need to attack other people in the manosphere for having different views to us. Like, I know there's a lot of people that are very derogatory about men going their own way, and and that's cool. Like, if that's what you want to do, then I'm not going to stop you. But just understand that if you are saying that men deciding to do what is best for them is a bad thing, then you're anti-male. It's just as simple as that. So, I make no apologies for making that statement and calling people out on that. So if the shoe fits and you're listening to this, then the shoe fits. And I'm not going to name you. I'm not going to shame you. I'm not going to, make up any pictures. I'm not going to do anything. You can say whatever you like about me. I don't care. There's nothing you can do that can hurt me, because I know what my purpose here is on YouTube. I know what my purpose here is in the manosphere, and it's just to help guys. It's just to help guys to find peace in their lives, to find understanding about why things happen the way they are, and to, unite with other people, regardless of their beliefs or their geographic location or their skin color or their religion or whatever. Like, if you got a penis, I'm here for you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want your penis, but like, I'm here for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I hope so. But you never know, Sydney. In some of these spaces, man, there are guys out here who are a little suspect, bro. I got to keep it real.
Straight out.
Some suspect guys in these spaces, bro. That's all I got to say, man.
Man, so I've got a, I've been asked by guys if I suck cock before, and I'm like, no. Like, you can think what you like, but that's my answer. Simple as that. No ill feelings, no ill will, no animosity. Just that's my answer. Period. And that's how I roll. Look, I had a dude try to suck my dick when I was younger, and I was like, no, that ain't for me. And it still ain't for me this day. And I think till the day I die, it's probably not going to be for me. I love my sleeve too much. It just feels too good, So that's where I'm at. But no disrespect to anyone who's got other preferences. And Faye says Solo is correct about the Bible brings a decent, fulfilling, and peaceful life. Yeah, I agree. I agree with Solo on that, and I agree with you as well, Faye. So Anyway, guys, look, you know where Solo and I are at. I think we've had a really interesting conversation about the monetization of female sexuality, and how both men and women have had a part to play in the degeneration of society, and how men and women both need to take responsibility for the improvement in society. Solo, why are you super chatting on your own stream, man?
This is your stream. I'm just a guest.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. So if you haven't checked out Solo TV before, check him out on Instagram at SoloTV84, patreon.com/SoloTV84. Also on YouTube as SoloTV84. If you search any of those places, you will find your boy here. Solo, I just want to say I appreciate you coming on today, man. It's been a great conversation. I always love having chats with you. And, I find every single time we speak, the sort of closer we come together on a lot of issues. And I appreciate you, and you're a good guy, and you've been putting out some great content. I appreciate that. So, man, kudos to you, and thank you for coming on.
No doubt. Thank you for having me on. I hope we do this again. But I will admit, if Biden wins, I'm going to be in a cave somewhere hiding.
Bruh.
I'm leaving the country. I'm serious. I have a passport. I'll be somewhere in Colombia. 30 grand is 100,000 in Colombia, guys. So I'll be there. And that Iowa 5.
Your microphone is on mute, bro. Oh, hang on. I can't.
Yeah, can you hear me now? That Iowa 5 and Wisconsin 4, nothing but 8s and 9s in Colombia, guys. So I'll be there if Biden wins. Because he might. Look, I'm not trying to talk bad, but I don't know how long he might make it. Kamala Harris is going to win. Technically, it's Kamala Harris against Trump. Because I don't know if Biden can make it.
Starting this bitch after.
Oh, you're still.
I am restarting this setup after this because been. I've just hit sleep mode too many times, and it's time for a restart. So I really should have done that before live streaming, but this was kind of impromptu, so I didn't expect it. But yeah, man, thanks for coming on, brother. I look forward to doing this again with you soon. But I know you got to get going, so I will. I'll wrap this up. But Solo, go and check him out on Insta, YouTube, and Patreon for all of the hot content on Patreon. But until next time, brothers, peace.